Rui, what was it like watching the young guys go on that run in the fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah, it was great. Actually, when they got in the game, they weren't really in a good rhythm. I think they weren't warm, so they were kind of a little bit, slow and then, didn't look like organized. But once I think the Q was the one that kind of switched the whole game. He's with his 3 points and all that, but, I think it was more so his defense, he picked it up, the guy, the point guard from full court, and it's just the pressure in the ball and just the hustling, the whole time. That kind of changed the whole game, and everybody kind of watched him, and they got in a good rhythm. So it was a great game.
We're getting the impression that Quincy's already pretty popular in the locker room. And some of the vets, he likes to ask a lot of questions. Got a real kind of vibrant personality. What have you noticed about him so far?
Yeah, for sure. He got the good vibes. He always very active. He asks a lot of questions, like you said. He trying to learn and get better. So I like how he approaching this. With our team, and yeah, we need a guy like that. Especially young guys. I think. We just have we have a lot of young guys now, so we just have more energy. We should have more energy, and we should play like that, in the game.
Rui, even though the team is largely the same with the new staff and new systems, like it feels like in preseason, you're still trying to figure out exactly how you guys want to play as a group. Tonight, you guys take 17 more shots. Mm-hmm. Same number of offensive rebounds you guys had. How much of that has been emphasized, winning kind of the possession battle every night, and how encouraging was that tonight to see?
Yeah, I think we talked about before the season started. This year's gonna be, our key's gonna be the details. We're gonna be very, very. We're gonna focus on every positions. It doesn't matter if it's a preseason or whatever. Well, for us, it's a practice. We didn't have many practice yet, so we just gotta, in this kind of stuff, helps us to kind of get in a good rhythm, and then going into the season. So I think last season, I'm talking about last season, we were kind of like kind of messing around first 30, 40 games, and then we came back and we made a playoff. But I think we can't do that this year, Again, so we gotta kind of set the tone and just play like we did, play like we've been doing it from the season when the season starts.
It wasn't that long ago you were a first rounder who made a name for himself in college and was thrust right into minutes. What have you seen from Dalton so far with the opportunity he's been given?
I like it. Yeah, I like how he approaches the game. He actually is very aggressive. He's a great shooter. He knows his game, and he's still trying to learn. It's different. I was like that too when I came out from college. Just the spacing and then playing with these superstars. It's not easy. So he's still trying to figure out. But I want him to be more aggressive and just be himself. That's gonna help, and that's what I did. So I think. For young guys, always when they struggle, I always tell them, I said, look, be you. That's gonna be the key for especially in this league, and to the team to win the games. So yeah, I think he been doing great. So, yeah.
Gabe told us that you guys gave JJ the game ball after he got the win. Just what was that scene like, and what does that step represent in JJ's coaching career?
Yeah, I mean, it was a preseason, but I think that's the big, the first game is always hard. I see it on the TV, social media, like a first head coach, they can't get the first game, first game win and stuff. So that if he got it in his third game, right? So yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's just a matter of we need to have more winning mentality. Even preseason, whatever, younger guys playing. We got to win the games, And today, I think we did that. We won I think most of the quarters, and we just did what we're supposed to do. We've been doing the practice, so I think we got to keep doing it. Yeah. Thank you.
Dalton, I know it's the preseason, but to go 20-0 to see LeBron, AD, D'Lo, those guys off their feet, what was the energy like in the fourth quarter?
I think it was good. They were all standing on their feet pretty much the whole entire fourth quarter. And, they were talking through, helping us when we were going on that run. And, any little thing that we did, they showed a lot of energy.
When you joined a team with LeBron and AD, did you envision 3 games into your NBA preseason career you'd be leading the team in shot attempts and getting 16 up like you did today?
No, I didn't think that. But, when I was on the sidelines, Brown was telling me just keep shooting it. He don't care what I shoot. Same with JJ. They said they don't really care what I shoot. Just keep putting them up, man. Keep letting them fly. So I know that's my best thing is keep shooting it and letting it fly, playing with confidence. So, having that is real good.
You guys as a group, I'm sure, have a much bigger goals than a preseason win. Nonetheless, this was the first coaching win for JJ. What can you tell us about the kind of recognition that you guys gave him in the locker room afterwards?
Oh, yeah, we got that game ball for him. So, the first one's cool, but he knows that he's got a whole bunch of them, and we'll be there June 5th, and we'll get some more.
Dalton, 2 for you. What can you tell us about Quincy and kind of his energy and being around him throughout the summer?
Yeah, Quincy, me and him were real close ever since we met in Utah one time, just crossing paths through the airport. And ever since then, we were close. And then when he came by to the Lakers Summer League team, we pretty much bonded right away. And he's just been my guy the whole entire time. And it was good just to see him go out there being who he is, bringing tons of energy, playing defense, locking up, picking full court, then him hitting his shots, doing what he does.
JJ, at least talking to us, has made it pretty clear as to what it's going to take for you to play in the rotation. He talks a lot about defensive competitiveness. I think you got in there on a dig with Giannis today. You challenged him at the rim. You got a steal off of Dame. I guess how have you been testing yourself defensively? How do you think that's gone through 3 games?
Just just learning my spots. He's just big on just going out there and competing and going out there and just, like I said, competing, fighting through screens and stuff. So just doing that, try to do all the little things, try to hit people when the ball goes up in the air and grab some rebounds.
Dalton, obviously you're a first-round pick this year, but you didn't necessarily come up as being recruited by Duke or Kentucky right out of high school. You had to go up step by step. So can you relate a little more even to the way that Quincy's journey right now? Going undrafted on an Exhibit 10, non-guaranteed. Do you kind of still have that mindset even though you were a first-round pick?
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, I don't think I was picked first round, but at the end of the day, everyone's here for a reason. So. Everyone's going to keep proving themselves every single day. Quincy proves himself every single day while he's here. So no matter what, at the end of the day, as a team, we don't really care about that. So we're just going to keep going out there and being competitive against each other.
We know JJ's mentioned corner crashing a lot, and he said that if he tells you to do something, you do it. I think it was 6 offensive rebounds. We talked about it a little bit on the court. But is that a simple thing for you? Is it an instinct thing by now? Do you have to really focus on it? Is it different from how you used to play? How do you think about the corner crashing?
At Tennessee we did a lot of that corner crashing and stuff. So I think it's just it's good. Got a putback dunk off that, and then almost got another one. So I think corner crashing and just going in there grabbing offensive rebounds is good because there's more possessions and more shot opportunities. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dalton.
Hey, Quincy, first just on the fourth quarter specifically, and you picking up 94 feet, causing turnovers, hitting threes, and as you're seeing the vets get up, what's going through your mind as you're leading that big comeback?
Just keep going. Just keep going. I think I hold my head high on the fact that I'm an energy guy, and I like to make sure that every time I'm in, I give the most positive energy I can. And if I've been sitting the whole game, that means I should be the most rested. So just pick up full and have good energy. And next thing you know, the whole bench is up. And I really was focused on just getting this first win for Coach Redick because we had been pretty close. And then when we got to the third quarter or the fourth quarter in the previous 2 games, it kind of dwindled away. So I just wanted to give everything I could to put us in the best position to win.
JJ was just telling us that you have a cross-country background.
Yes, sir.
Talking about kind of the amazing shape that you're in and winning all the drills. Can you just take us through some of that and how that coincided with your basketball career and how you've incorporated it?
Yes, sir. My father, when I was 12 years old, we started running with a group around Atlanta. It was called Movers and Pacers. And around that time, I just noticed that came easy to me. It was fun because I was able to run around downtown Atlanta, see all the beautiful buildings, but also spend time with my dad. And we would go every Sunday, and it became fun. And next thing you know, it correlated directly with basketball. I was able to run everywhere. My AAU coach, may he rest in peace, he always said that in order to get a job here in the NBA, I have to be the most in shape. And that was something I took pride in. And up until I was 16, I told Coach Cage at Westlake High School that I was going to focus on basketball full time and stop running cross country. And ever since then, I've just been kind of holding that as my calling card to be the most in shape player on the floor.
And that we were just talking to Gabe Vincent. He was undrafted out of school, and Dan asked him kind of what it takes. He said it takes everything, to make it. How did having somebody like him and other players on the roster, have you started to take some of that and incorporated that into your own kind of mindset?
Yes, sir. I think the biggest thing every vet could say if they came in here is that I ask a lot of questions. I ask Gabe a lot of questions, whether that's his time with the Heat, what is it like playing for Coach Spoelstra, what is Jimmy Butler like, what is the Heat culture like, what did it take for him to get to where he's at, because Coach Emery's brother, Coach Brian, would always say, I can be just like Gabe Vincent. We're about the same size, and I can do the same thing he does, and he's made a career here. So just always coming in here and asking questions. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge, whether that's LeBron, AD, AR, D-Lo, Gabe Vincent. It's just so much knowledge that can be soaked up that I try my best to take advantage of this opportunity.
Hey, Quincy, I have two for you. First off, what kind of led to you signing the E10 with the Lakers? What did you like about the situation? How quickly did that come together on draft night and stuff like that?
That was an easy decision because my mom's mantra for me was always go where you're loved, not where you want to be. And after the first night of the draft, Coach, Mr. Mazzella, the GM of the South Bay Lakers, he called my agent and said that he wanted me immediately. And out of the other 10 teams that I had on the list that I had worked out for, that was the first team to call us without us reaching out to them. So it was a fairly easy decision to just go there because they wanted me. So that already told me off if they're willing to work with me through my mistakes.
They called you after the first round?
The first night, yes, sir. The first night. And so leading into the morning of the second round, I kind of knew where I was gonna go. You
became a little bit of like a fringe corner of basketball internet celebrity on media day.
Yes, sir.
What was that like? What are some of the good jokes you've seen? Some of the good memes from it, and I don't know. What was your phone like that day?
It was amazing, actually. So I saw the tweet the first night it came out, and I loved it. Like I love to play. Anybody on the team can tell you I love to play. I got jokes for days. And so when I saw that, I was just like, oh, whatever. Like it's kind of funny. But the next day after practice, one of my closest friends, Caleb Riley, he texted me and said, this dude on Twitter just threw you a lob. I was like, lob for what? And I looked at it, and all the jokes were 2K related. And I'm a huge 2K fan. I've been playing 2K since about 2K10 with Kobe Bryant on the cover on the Wii. And so they started talking about, that's my player. He's in the cut scene and all these things, calling me MP. And I was just crying, laughing. And so my homeboy, Raymond, he texted me and was like, you got to capitalize on this marketing. So I hadn't got my media day pictures yet, but I got the picture with LeBron. And I said, I'm just going to post it. And I used the caption, who's number 41? And that's been my mantra, my agent's mantra, my uncle, just always, who's 41? Who's number 41? And we've been trying to capitalize on that because I think it's funny. As long as nobody's disrespecting my family or anybody close to me, then I'm all with having fun.
Quincy, how much interaction had you had with LeBron up to that point? Like, was that had you developed some sort of rapport before you asked for the selfie?
I would say yes because, like I said, I just ask a lot of questions. So the first thing I did when I saw him was ask him a question. I asked him about his school because a goal for me is to always make the community that I'm from, Atlanta, better than it was when I was growing up. And even though it's not bad, I just want to make an impact there. So I asked him about his I Promise school and what was his thought process about that and how that came to fruition. And every day it was just a new question. And one of the more recent questions I asked him was yesterday, watching the starting five was how does he handle media? You know, as an athlete of his stature, everybody's going to have something to say. How did you begin to block that out and just kind of focus on yourself? Because he came to the league at 18, and I'm pretty sure with the career that I want to have, it's going to come with negative media bash and just being ready to handle that. And so every day when I first saw him, it was just always a question. So by the time I got to that point, it was just like, what's up, Q? And I was like, can we get a picture? And he was just like, for sure. And I asked Becca, could she take the picture? And there came the Who's 41 meme.
And just what was the scene like for you to be in the locker room post game? JJ wins his first game as a coach, and you know, what can you tell us about? Gabe said he gave him the game ball.
It was amazing. I grew up wanting to be just like JJ Redick. I was an Atlanta Hawks fan till I die. Growing up, going to the Highlight Factory, I was always mad that Dwight Howard, Jameer Nelson, and JJ Redick would come in and always beat the Hawks. But I always wanted a JJ Redick number 7 jersey. Me and my dad, I have a picture in an Orlando Magic jersey T-shirt of JJ Redick. I had his better basketball shooting videos. I had his shot lock that he had in the back of a Slam magazine. I just wanted to be just like him. So to be out here and just after we had the energy, I just told myself I want to be able to get him his first win. And to do that for him is amazing because, honestly, he was one of the reasons I wanted to shoot the ball.
Does he ever shoot with you guys at practice?
He doesn't. The first time I met him, I challenged him to a shooting competition. He beat me, and then I beat him the next 2, and he hasn't challenged me since.
All good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Gabe, what about Quincy Olivari's night, and specifically that fourth quarter, kind of got you guys going so much, and how much fun was that watching him do his thing there?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to put one word on it, I'd say inspiring. You know, that level of effort, that level of defense, it's inspiring. We've seen guys around the league do that time and time again. It really uplifted the group, you know, and tonight it was him. And that whole group there in the fourth, you know, they played with a lot of energy and effort, and it was huge for us.
Yeah, he's on an Exhibit 10 contract, obviously, like not guaranteed. Does that, you guys going through the business and knowing how tough it is to get the spots, you know, a full guaranteed deal, does that make you pull even a little bit more for somebody like that?
For sure. I mean, I think we want all our young guys to do well, and everyone that goes in there to do well. But you're definitely happy for somebody when they, you know, they find joy in doing the little things, and that leads to great success for them.
Gabe, you're a guy who played yourself into the league, really. What does it take when you're in that spot that Quincy's in to find a job?
Everything. I think it takes everything, and I think you know, he expended a lot of energy in a short window, and I think he felt that, and that's something he's got to maintain and sustain for longer stretches for sure. But definitely initially, it takes everything you have to get in, try to fit, to figure out what your role might be with whatever team it is, and you try to make it work.
There's bigger goals in mind for this group than a preseason win, but that said, it is the first preseason win of JJ's coaching career. Was there any sort of acknowledgement from the group?
Absolutely. We definitely acknowledged it. I think you know, his initial reaction was like, it's just the preseason, you know, but we're trying to acknowledge the win nonetheless. You know, it is his first win, and I snagged the game ball for him, tossed it to him, so hopefully he takes that home with him, and we carry that over to the next game.
Gabe, for you, last season was so disjointed because of the knee injury and kind of what you were dealing with. How much more comfortable are you with kind of where you fit with this group, and how are you kind of feeling, not so much physically, but just sort of mentally and spiritually with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think mentally and spiritually feeling kind of the same as I was before. You know, our standards are high, our expectations are high, and as they should be. I think me being healthy just adds to my comfortability. You know, just being able to be myself, really. You know, not a shell of myself, not just trying to figure it out, but to be able to just go out and play my game and bring what I can to the table to help this team win games.
Just quickly, anything that you would like to see, you know, these next, not even 2 weeks before the regular season starts, like just amongst the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to continue to build. I think each game has been slightly better and better, you know, whether it's taking care of the ball or rebounding the ball or running our offense. You know, we're just trying to be as detailed as we can, and most importantly, to grow each day towards our goal. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Gabe.
JJ, that fourth quarter, obviously it's all young guys, but are you of the opinion that, like, there's no such thing as garbage time, every minute matters, like the young guys can make a difference to do something like that? And clearly you saw all the vets getting into it. What do you take away from a run like that from the young guys?
Ray Allen used to always talk about every time you step on the floor, it's a tryout, essentially. There's always people watching you. There's guys that have earned a roster spot for their play in summer league, for their play in training camp, a preseason game. Guys that have earned rotation minutes in garbage time in a regular season game. So I don't take what that group did lightly at all. Really impressive. I thought in particular Quincy just completely changed the game. To me, and I told our guys this after, what he did is the blueprint for what we're asking for a few of our players in terms of just picking up full court, being disruptive, taking time off the shot clock. I thought he just executed exactly what we want from someone in his position, and we've challenged a number of guys, and they've done it well to varying degrees, but haven't seen it executed that well until tonight with Quincy.
Yeah, speaking of Olivari, I was sitting right there in the corner, so you could see he's picking up full court, and every time he's turning somebody over, that's what's getting LeBron off his seat. Just kind of appreciating those things. What else do you know about him? Obviously, he was there in the summer. He's on an E10. What can you tell us about Quincy and the type of player he is?
So he's got a background running cross country, so he's in unbelievable shape at all times. When we did all of our conditioning in September, he won nearly every run. For August and September, when we had our light days and we did our shooting drills, he, I think, has the highest score in nearly every shooting drill we have. He takes the game very seriously. He's a player who, I talk about care factor. Like, he's a player who has a care factor for doing it the right way and wanting to execute whatever vision you give him. I'm excited that he's in our program. I really am. We look at him as a coaching staff in very high regard.
Other takeaways, maybe you can go back to the first half and when that starting group was out there, minus Austin. And did you feel like you got some of the things done that you had listed pregame that were focuses?
Yeah, we didn't necessarily game plan, but we gave them 3 things pregame that we truthfully haven't had a ton of time to work on. One was our pick and roll coverage with Dame, which conceptually we haven't practiced once. And I thought Max Christie and our bigs did a really good job. We gave them some veer to pop against their popping bigs. We executed it a little bit, not great, but a little bit. We've had about 5 minutes in practice. That's all the time we've had so far to practice that. And then, our loads in transition to Giannis, which we showed him on tape. That's what we had time for. So would have been nice to have a practice day yesterday, but them's the breaks. So that wasn't great. Our transition defense in the first half was not great. Overall, I thought the group that played the first half did a nice job.
JJ, back to Quincy. It seemed like, we haven't spoken to him, but just seeing how other people have reacted to him, it seems like there's like a magnetism a little bit with him. What have you seen from like the way people have reacted to him, and what was it like being on the bench, seeing your regulars? Yeah, he's kind of quickly catch on what he was doing.
Yeah, Quincy, again, he's been in our gym now for a couple months. Besides just the summer league, he has an infectious spirit and soul about him. It's not that he's some super talkative, boisterous guy, but he just carries himself well. He carries himself with intent. His work ethic is really high. And I think people respond to that. And when you have someone who cares, who's a good teammate, who does all the right things, and then he comes in a game and is picking up full court with a bloody mouth and changing the entire dynamic for us as a team, it's easy to respond to that as a teammate and as a coaching staff. And I thought he lit a fire for us.
Percentages wise, not the best shooting night for Dalton, but the fact that as a rookie leads the team in shots, is on the court for most of the fourth quarter when you guys have that 20-0 run. What can you say about his NBA preparedness, readiness at this stage where he is as a rookie?
Yeah, he's ready to play in the NBA. he, is still growing in terms of learning how to play with physicality, learning some defensive nuances and timing. But another kid who's just his heart and his intent is the same every day, and it's always in the right place. He didn't shoot well. What did he end up with? 6 offensive rebounds. Like, it's someone, you tell him to do something and he's going to do it. Dalton crashed from the corner. All right. Literally, you watch it on tape. He does it every time. And I thought, the offensive rebounding for that group over the last quarter and change was really good. It was also pretty good in the first half. Like, there was a real intent to crash. We're going to have to rewatch the tape. We saw some of the clips at halftime in our transition defense. I don't think it was the crashing that led to them scoring in transition. There was some plays that we didn't match up. There were some plays where we clearly were in position to load and we didn't load. There were some plays where we got cross-matched and then all of a sudden we got discombobulated. So I don't think it was the crashing that led to the bad transition defense. So I like the intent from our guys. Like, that was a priority, something we talked about yesterday and today. So overall, pretty good.
This is kind of granular, but just following up on that, when you're looking at transition defense, are you separating the off a miss by the offense versus a turnover from you guys?
Yeah, well, a live ball turnover is a different thing. Like, we can sort all of that stuff.
So, but
there was one that we had that we showed at halftime that was off of a make that was particularly egregious. That was not great. Again, you some of this stuff you can look at holistically, and then some of the stuff you can really break down and see, okay, this is an area of concern and where we really need to focus and emphasize and be better.
Yes, Coach.